What is it exactly that you bring to this? Me? I'm a planner. I make plans. You've already made the plan, so what value do you have now? Well, if the plan fails, the existing plan, I make a new plan. So you make plans that fail? No. He also plays the flute. Welcome to Should You Watch This with the Popcorn Priest, the weekly podcast where movie enthusiasts, current and ex-movie theater projectionists, new and old friends, take the time to talk about a movie that we just watched and answer that very question, should or shouldn't you watch this? Who needs heroes when you have thieves? Dungeons and Dragons, Honor Among Thieves from 2023 is next.
One movie is taking the world by storm.
That's what I've been saying!
Dungeons and Dragons is the perfect film.
What is that again?
Editorializing.
A thrilling heist, it's epic movie magic, and a wild ride you won't want to miss.
Yeah, it's fairly horrible. It's fairly wonderful.
The breath of fresh air that charms its way into your heart.
I don't want to see you die, which is why I'm going to leave the room.
Dungeons and Dragons, Honor Among Thieves. Only in theaters March 31st.
Joining me today,
Yay.
our reoccurring guests, Dungeon Master Tribe, and I would like an aisle seat Cole.
Darn tootin'.
Welcome back, my humble acolytes. Grab your 20-sided dies and brush up on your ancient runes. We are now thieves.
Yep, I've set my spells for the day. We're good to go.
The details for this one.
Thank God Taylor was here to explain some of the intricacies of the
Well,
plot involved in this movie,
and
because I would have been clueless.
I'm going to need a lot of help from our good
Okay. I was
D&D Sherpa Taylor.
I was looking up some stats on my
You're
phone.
the only one we have.
It's a poor. I'm a poor guide, but I will try.
That's all we can ask for, okay?
Even the dimmest candle lights the way in darkness. That's right. One-eyed man in the world of the blind. The world of D&D.
A charming thief and a band of unlikely adventurers embark on an epic quest to retrieve a lost relic. But things go dangerously awry when they run afoul of the wrong people. Directed by the Johns, John Francis Daly and Jonathan Goldstein, directors of such hits as Game Night and the Vacation reboot.
Is that it? I need to see Game Night.
Those are the ones that I selected. Yeah. Other ones are not relevant or
notable.
Probably not even notable. Top billed stars are Chris Pine, Michelle Rodriguez, Roger Jean Page.
Réjean. Yeah, I think it was.
Jean Page.
I think it was French. I don't know.
It was, yeah. Ray J. John Page.
Ray J. Johnson.
And Hugh Grant. Runtime of 2 hours and 14 minutes, rated PG-13. Genre on Rotten Tomatoes says fantasy adventure, and IMDb says action adventure comedy.
Yeah, I think those all work.
All of them? Just sprinkle them all in there.
I think you need fantasy. That's important.
Okay.
Adventure for sure.
Action,
yeah, and then comedy.
So it's a fantasy adventure action comedy.
Because you might be mad if you didn't know it was a comedy and then it had this tone.
Yeah.
You'd be like, I wanted it to be serious.
Yeah. I think, well, we'll get into it a little more, but I think that's the only way to play this.
Yeah, we can get into that later.
Okay.
Yeah.
Speaking of IMDb, they give it a rating of 7.4 out of 10, which is very high, from 83,000 reviews. Rotten Tomatoes, however, gives it a 91% from 286 critics and 93% from 2.5 thousand audience ratings. Where to watch this right now? At the time of this recording, you can only rent or purchase this from your preferred purveyor of digital media.
It's still in theaters, and The Junction still has it right now. There's a couple.
Or go to the theater. Yeah.
There's a couple of showtimes left, but it's not going to be around for long.
However, it will be on Paramount Plus by the time this is released, by this
probably
podcast.
I would assume that's how that's going to work.
True. They
did make it. They did have Top Gun for like 8 months after they got it on streaming.
They're just going to always have it.
No,
right?
It went on Amazon Prime. So
before you could rent it, like it was Paramount Plus.
they had like an exclusive streaming
Then, like a month
window,
later, then
and
you
I
could
guess
rent it or buy
they
it.
sold it to other streaming services.
Yeah,
And you can't watch it on Paramount Plus?
You probably still can.
You can. It was just them only before anybody else got it after the theater.
Drive
still
people to the
have
service.
They were milking the crap out of it.
I'm just saying, like
It's like how Disney does their exclusive for a minute and then releases it to everyone else.
money to be made, man.
Speaking of money, if you choose the highest tier of our Patreon account, you'll have access to the Popcorn Priest Permanent Collection. Go to patreon.com/Popcorn Priest for details. This brings us to one of the most beloved and asked for categories. And should you watch this, Popcorn Reviews the Reviews. All right, you guys. I've got 3 1 out of 10 stars
Oh, good.
from
Give
normal
me
people.
the one. The ones are the
and
best.
3 10 out of 10. They are all amazing because
I would imagine so.
the only people that came out of the woodworks to review this
We're
film
nerds.
right now they have
They have strong feelings.
strong feelings.
I can imagine the 10 out of 10 are very descriptive and why they enjoy it. But the lowest
I bet
tier,
you
the 1 star.
I bet you the 1-star people hated the tone.
Yeah,
Yes,
I'm
we'll
sure.
see.
There's probably too much comedy for
They're
it.
like they wanted it to be like the novels that are like
Yeah.
set in the universe and stuff, which are not.
Why didn't it follow the 1983 plot accordingly?
Well, just like John Hammond of Jurassic Park, I have spared no expense. The first 1 out of 10, not even close to D&D, says Vecna 81087.
They didn't roll a die every time they needed to make a decision.
Should I read it like a nerd or just read it normal?
No,
No, you don't.
no, your voice, your normal narrating voice is pretty good.
So this is what some idiot ex-Disney producer thinks D&D is? Not even close. Disclaimer. I switched off after 20 minutes. So maybe it picked up. It's just I was close to losing my lunch as so much family crap was launched against my eyeballs. I just had to stop. 60% of the cast is under 16 and are some shade of black with zero regard for IWD races.
What is going on?
There's
I told you, it's just keeps coming.
Whoa.
may I make a request? No, I'm sorry. You should go back and forth between 1 and 10 because this juxtaposition with how bad these 1 stars must be would be amazing.
Okay, let's do that.
I was
That'll be
not
a should you.
expecting it to go in that direction.
That'll be a should you watch this first if we go from 1 to 10, from 1 to 10.
I like the back and forth. I think that's going to treat this much better.
I like that. Okay, we're going to continue with Vecna 81087.
Yeah, name and
Who has some issues with people of other races?
Half the cast elf? Really? It's like Nubia invaded IWD without anyone noticing. Inclusive casting my ass. Stick to kids' TV and leave real entertainment to the grown-ups. Harry Potter is 100 times better than this pile of garbage. And I hate Harry Potter. Film producers continue to insult D&D players. This is the second time this unique and iconic game has been thus insulted.
Amazing.
The punishment for effing it up a third time should be a slow death in a vat of mind flayers. 1 out of 10 stars.
what is IW? What is
IWD, that's what I was wondering.
I don't know. That's what I thought you guys would know.
No, I've been racking my brain, but that acronym doesn't sound familiar.
With zero regard for IWD races.
I'm assuming that's like
Interworld Dimensional?
it might be some.
Look it up.
Yeah, it's something to do with the.
All right.
Carry on.
I'm going to a 1 out of 10. And these are, or 10 out of 10. These are very good. A pure blast, says Christopher's Hobris. Christopher's Showbris. I have no idea how to play the role-playing game this is based on. But I sure know how to watch a movie. And this movie is so much fun. I watched a movie where I laughed, bit my nails, I dropped my jaw,
Not bite his nails.
and laughed some more.
I was picking my nails there for a second,
Lying.
but that's because of my anxious nature.
The world feels Lord of the Ring-ish.
It does. Very much so. The sets and the setting.
They look Lord of the Ring-ish. I would. Yeah, I mean,
But it's a lot more
I was gonna
colorful. It's a
say-
lot more bright and colorful than something than what Lord of the Rings was.
But is still unique enough to stand out.
all right,
Good
fair,
job.
okay, sure.
To all who were involved. This is how you get people back into the theaters. I'm glad not all movies are good because it allows us to fully appreciate it when they are good.
I'm glad
Gonna wax, but like be all philosophical at the end.
Never take a
If
film
all
for granted.
things were good, then nothing would be good.
If Adam Sandler didn't exist, we wouldn't know what real cinema was.
Never take a film for granted, says Christopher Showbris. 10 out of 10
Man,
stars.
it really made him like ponder the mysteries of the world.
So IWD either stands for International Women's Day, which I think is probably the real reason, or I Want to Die, from what I can find.
No, that can't be it.
No, because it says races, right?
Yeah, I think he's referring to like the races within like the game world.
Yeah, I think it's something to do
It's something with D&D because he says it's like Nubia invaded IWD without anyone noticing.
It's got to be a port, like something to do with the land or...
I don't know.
Moving on.
Sorry, Vecna. We don't understand you and your racist tirades.
Your critiques suck.
It's like, who cares? It's fantasy, man. What are you doing?
All right. 1 out of 10 at the request of Cole. Dungeons and Disappointments.
Oh, it's Icewind Dale. Okay, never mind.
What does that mean?
It's a place in that Forgotten Realms like world.
Icewind
Yeah, Dale.
Dale.
Yeah. There's video games.
Dale's Ice Winds.
All right. There you have it.
It's an air conditioning store.
A deep cut by Vecna. All right. Back to the 1 out of 10. Dungeons and Disappointments, the lackluster tale of honor among thieves.
I'm glad these people like still get to write. Like no one's making them do this; they're choosing to, and I think that's great.
This is a good hour typing on the keyboard,
Yeah,
making
they
sure that's properly conveys their
It's
rage.
good for them. Good for them.
Says Benjamin Thompson. Dungeons and Dragons, honor among thieves fails to deliver an engaging plot despite its promising premise. The story of Edgin Darbus and his team of adventurers lacked coherence and emotional depth.
I mean,
How much more emotional do you
there's
need to get with that movie?
I think there's a meta like commentary. It's kind of, you have to come to it later, but yeah, it's like there's a point to that, and it seems that he did not appreciate what they were trying to do.
Yeah, he was not aware. They have to
He's
do
like,
that.
why is it like this? And it's
They
like,
have
well,
to do it for the masses.
it's like, yeah, it's like,
You need a broad market appeal at some point.
The pacing of the movie is also off, with a slow start and a rushed and confusing climax that fails to satisfy. The action scenes lack creativity and impact.
okay, I will vouch for that. I did think that some of those action scenes felt kind of stale. Like when she was running through the city.
Okay.
And it just felt like a CG. Like
They pulled a lot of punches.
yeah, it just.
to.
So I mean, that's not a criticism though that I think is that big of a deal. But I do think that that's right. That there is some action scenes in there that do feel like overly choreographed,
Watered down chase scene.
and not very. But they don't have real stakes. But I mean, again, that's
I don't know. I mean, I feel like it's all fantastic.
I know that's what I'm saying. That's not the point of it, though. Is the thing? It's like
it's
like,
not a Bond movie.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it's why that criticism of I don't think is that important. Although I do think that's you can say like I didn't think the action scenes felt that there was any stakes. And it's like yeah, some of them for sure. But I mean, Dungeons and Dragons is the game. The tabletop game doesn't have real stakes either.
Well, Benjamin continues and says that these special effects are underwhelming. The movie lacks memorability and fails to deliver on its promising premise. The lack of engaging characters, a coherent plot, and impactful action scenes make it a disappointment for fans of the fantasy genre. 1 out of 10 stars.
Like I will say though, like I mean, if you're going to complain about the action, you can't complain about the action in the Marvel movies, like because it's the same type of action. So it's like if that's if you have a problem,
same
with,
family friendly
like
style.
that modern like style,
Violent,
of,
but
like,
not too violent.
CG PG-13 like comic book action stuff, then you can't complain about this one. So I don't know. Maybe he doesn't like those either. Which I mean, if he's going to be, but he must be consistent. We can't allow him to just be wishy-washy on that.
I agree. 10 out of 10. Oh my. This was insanely good, says Nichelle Sebastian. I played D&D 25 years ago when I was a teen. A lot. A freaking lot. Faerun, and the
Faerun.
Faerun.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Sherpa.
yeah.
Faerun and the Forgotten
Yeah,
Realms.
that's what the name of the world is. Yeah.
Faerun and the Forgotten Realms became somewhat like a home for me. With my players, we met incredible friends and slain grandiose foes, romanced, despaired, cried, jubilated. We saved Farron once or two or twice. Once or two. We saved Farron once or two. I still remember my house and my village in the Dale. And today, what was living in our imagination took life on a big screen with majesty and magnificence.
This person is in religious ecstasy.
It was brilliant.
This is more than just ecstasy.
I
This
was
is like erotic fiction. Right here.
I was transported back in time.
Danielle Steele, eat your heart out.
And for some exhilarating hours, I revived the good old days. I can't describe what I felt.
It was powerful.
Oh, I know it wasn't perfect and there is a billion things to nitpick on, but that's not what is important here. Come on. It was respectful of what D&D is. It had all of what a good D&D adventure campaign should have. People who worked on this earned their salary, and my deepest respect. 2 words for what you made. Thank you. The only time I went twice to the cinema to rewatch the same movie. Now, I have to find back that wish scroll I stacked a bunch of years ago, waiting for a good occasion to use it. I wish for a sequel to this, or even a series, she says. Anything is good, provided we can see the realms again. I truly hope Elminster will help on that one. 10 out of 10.
So, man, like that reminded me of the story about like World War II veterans thanking Spielberg for how horrific he made D-Day look.
Saving Private Ryan, yeah.
Okay.
You're the only one.
He's like, you're the only that you knew.
accurately.
It's like you are honest to my lived experiences.
It's like you were on the
like
beach with
that
us.
level of like emotional like commitment.
Reaction to a
I think
film.
it was Scotty from Star Trek. I don't know. Someone who was actually there and was like, yeah, it's like, thank you for showing what a nightmare this was. But this time it's like,
Who's Elminster?
Elminster? I have no idea.
I truly hope Elminster will help on that one.
I think it's Chris Pine. I think that was his name.
No, his name was Egrin.
Oh.
Edgin. I don't know.
I knew it had ad in it. I thought it was.
Something to do with her wish scrolls. I hope she brings a sequel, I guess.
Maybe someone. I don't know.
Considering this didn't make that much money, I don't think it'll happen.
I thought. Well,
Or we'll get to that.
Get to numbers.
Yeah, we've got numbers coming up. All right, the last 1 out of 10. Our family of 10 didn't like this movie. Says family of 10.
Family of 10.
Oh, that sounds exhausting.
Get ready. For my sextuplet's 15th birthday,
Oh, okay. So
we
that
watched
happened.
Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Among Thieves, but they didn't like it at all. My 20-year-old twins didn't like it either.
Is this person just like doing a bit?
My husband and I didn't like it either. Luckily, we have the money for another movie. So we watched the Super Mario Brothers movie instead. They really liked the Super Mario Brothers movie much better and were happy again. We thought our kids would like Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Among Thieves because people compared it to Guardians of the Galaxy.
In a way, yeah.
Yes. I actually
can see
think
that
that's valid.
comparison.
Yeah.
And they really liked that movie. It turns out that Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Among Thieves is not for everyone. If you've seen the trailer, you really don't need to see the movie. 1 out of 10 stars.
I think she's just crabby because she's got
what's
6
with-
kids
yeah,
that are the
what's
same
with the-
age.
She has too many kids.
Yeah.
is what's the problem? And she can't
How old
appreciate
are
life.
her sextuplets?
6
or whatever?
15-year-olds and 2 20-year-olds.
That seems crazy that
Yeah.
they wouldn't like it. That seems like the audience that would be into it.
Well, or how much do they? Well, they're 15 though. I mean, how much would they understand? Dungeons and
Maybe, but
Dragons
I don't know.
at this point?
Okay, well, I mean, that's a different argument. It's like, can you enjoy this as like an action adventure movie without knowing like?
I think you might be a little
the weird
kind of-
meta contextual nature of it.
You
Like,
might feel a little out of place if you don't know what it is.
I had zero knowledge of D&D, and I had a
But you knew it was a fantasy board game where people are making.
They should
stories
know
as they
that,
play.
too.
I mean,
No.
if you,
Yeah, like
I mean, that's very like surface
yeah, that's all
level
you really.
knowledge.
That's all you really need to know about it. Yeah, I don't think that's an acceptable excuse.
Invalid criticism.
The last 10 out of 10. Link BW99 says good amount of dungeons, not enough dragons. I saw this movie yesterday and my mind was blown. Fun throughout the whole thing. Awesome actor and actress. That's just actor and
there's
actress.
Some omission there. It's like, what are you talking smack on some of the other supporting characters?
I was, however, a little disappointed in the dungeons to dragon ratio. I was going in expecting it to be around 1 to 5. Dragons being more popular in dungeons, which I think is how most of the world sees it. Dungeons are kind of boring, but dragons are so cool.
I feel like
But there was a dragon.
Pretty tired of dragons if they just kept doing that.
There was a dragon in a dungeon. The title didn't lie.
There are 2 dragons. That's
Plural, yeah,
I should
dragons.
save that for numbers, but
I wish I was a dragon.
This is the same person that
now
thought,
here we go.
I wish I could breathe fire
This is
and kiss female
the
dragons
dragonkin. Is a
in the
dragonkin person?
and save the day and or kill lots of peasants. However,
this is going to bug me to know if this person's 10
the
or
movie
40.
was more like 3-to-1 ratio of dungeons to dragons. Quite disappointing. Apart from that, really good movie, and now I've met the minimum character limit. 10 out of 10 stars.
No, we got it. 3 dragons. Yeah, no, he's right.
Let me just say that one more time. I wish I could breathe fire and kiss female dragons.
That's why I want to know if they're 10 or 40 because that's
Going on
important.
there,
It's very
man.
information. It's very important for me to know.
He could just not share that, but he chose to and wanted to.
He let us know.
Yeah.
Link BW99.
How much you want to bet there's a shelf
What
of
did
My
he-
Little Pony
was this a- was this
figurines
a
all
10?
lined up behind
Did
him?
you give it a 10?
10 out of 10.
He just wishes there was more. Okay.
I feel like we need to read a 5-star now just to get some random normal
No,
guy's
I
biased
want
opinion.
extremes. All I do is
This movie was entertaining, and I feel like I got my $18. Thank you.
The
and good
fringes
day.
is where the flavor is, right?
correct.
We're not talking about Pringles.
Correct. All right. You guys ready? Should or shouldn't you watch this? 5 reasons why you should watch this live. Because I didn't watch this before, so we need to come up with them since we just watched this.
Isn't
I
that
need
what we
5.
normally do?
I need. Well, no, only if all 3 of us haven't
Oh, if
seen
we're
it.
all newbies.
Yeah, 5 reasons, Taylor,
To watch it,
to watch Dungeons and Dragons. :
Chris Pine is a charming leading man.
I agree.
People have argued he's the best of the Hollywood Chris's, and I think he makes a good argument.
I'd have to
I don't
agree.
know if I want to commit to any position set yet, but I'm persuaded. I think he's got a good. There's a good argument to be made.
Yeah, it's a.
He's got a lot of
Chris
charisma.
Pratt is really great, but I like Chris Pine too.
Well, Chris Hemsworth.
Chris Hemsworth,
What about Chris Evans?
Chris Evans.
Yeah. See, there's.
But
a
it's
lot
all
of Hollywood
tied to
Chris.
Marvel. Like Chris Pine is the only one that's doing something
I
outside.
really like Chris Pine.
He's
So
got-
that's a great.
the charisma is.
He's got a lot of it.
What about sweeping locations and cool realms?
The scenery
Is that a
was pretty
reason to
beautiful.
watch?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
It was fun to see all the places.
Just the humor involved. You can definitely tell there was some Simpsons and Monty Python and some other references involved in the script that just made it. There was some pretty funny jokes you didn't see coming.
What about
The reveal of the dragon in the dungeon
the
itself.
mediocre ratio to Dungeons and to Dragons?
It didn't hamper my enjoyment any.
All right, we need a couple more reasons. That's only like 2.5.
Who else is great in it?
I thought Michelle Rodriguez was awesome.
Hugh
She
Grant.
looked huge.
Hugh Grant's pretty good in it.
Hugh Grant's, it's weird. He's playing like all these slimy villains now in like a lot of his shows.
I
but
mean,
he does it pretty good.
he's British. He's got to. It's required.
Yeah, that's what I think all Americans think that
Yeah,
the British
it's
are
they're
the villains.
They're slimy villains. Yeah.
There was even
Our former captors, if
there
you
was a
will.
Jaguar commercial that was just all about the
The British niche.
British being villains and driving cool cars. You should look it up. It's really cool. Michelle Rodriguez is a reason with her hairy pits.
I think it's well paced. It's not boring.
Given that it's 2.5 hours, it moves pretty good. 2:15 actually.
Yeah.
215. Yeah, I would say
It's light, I would say.
it's a little creepy for like
Maybe.
Like
but
smaller
it's kinda
kids,
like
like-
Pirates, like first Pirates of the Caribbean
Yeah.
in terms of like tone.
yeah.
That's a good way to put it.
I don't know if it's fun for the whole family, but fun for most of the family.
Yeah. Yeah. I think kids would like it, but I don't know.
And I
Unless it's
I would have
6 to
liked it as a
15-year-olds.
kid.
I know that a lot of people crapped on the CGI, but
It seemed fine
I thought
to
it
me.
was fine.
Yeah, I didn't notice
No,
it.
the production value is really good.
yeah.
Bradley Cooper is
It's okay. I
surprised.
mean, it's kind of from the game. It's got a lot of clever stuff in it. I mean, but like that's a lot of it's reference to like the nature of the
playing
tabletop
itself,
game.
the
but,
nature of
But they
playing.
do a lot of clever stuff within like the plot itself that is fun.
Yeah, it almost feels like they had a little sprinkle of like Monty Python into it, like just a little bit.
Yeah, just like in terms of like just plot stuff, like the like weird like Deus Ex Machina. That's like again part of what they're trying to do. Like like the different aspects of the quest without being too spoilery, but like the different magic that's used, like
how every character discovers their powers or like their.
I would say I don't know. It feels like there was some
they reveal their
pretty
stats.
good practical effects, at least to an extent.
Oh yeah,
like,
that's
like I mean, like when they did like the reversal of gravity stuff, like
it was good.
Like switched to it, like it seemed like there was a lot of like switching to like practical.
A lot of practical.
Like I'm pretty sure they
design.
either made a rotating set or had a set that they built upside down, like stuff like that.
Jonathan was a real articulated like wings and face.
Yeah, like I did like that stuff too. Like I don't. Yeah, like the lizard guy at the very beginning. I don't think that was CG.
No, it was not.
Yeah, so I mean, I think it's got a lot going for it there too.
Yeah, I think they did a really good job of adding those and stitching them in at the right time. The corpses were dope. Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
Any other reasons? Do we miss anything?
Do you like D&D? There you go. If you like D&D.
I think if you
maybe.
like...
Actually, we already kind of proved that that's not true with the reviews.
I think if you like D&D, I think you'd enjoy this.
Here's the thing. There's 4 other weird movies out there that are hot garbage. Of all of those, and if you're a D&D fan,
yeah.
like this is probably the best one of all of them, or not? Probably it is.
I mean,
and that's a good reason to watch.
As far as I would think so. I don't know.
I've never even seen a D&D.
One of the Wayans brothers is in like the old one from the 2000s. I never saw it, but
Jeremy Irons is in it.
That sounds
in
great.
2000. Mm-hmm. Wow.
Yeah, it was. I think it has 9% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, I never saw it. Sounds great though.
I knew there was that 83 animated version, but I didn't realize there was one in 2000.
Like in my research, people really like it because it's so bad.
So bad.
It's one of those movies.
Yeah. Well, so if you're a D&D fan, try it out. It's good.
I don't think you'll be disappointed unless you're like really have your opinion set in stone.
I agree. Let's get into by the numbers.
For God's sake, just give me the damn number!
All right, what's the budget?
I'm going to say 100
Don't
million.
spoil it.
I'm going to say 100 million.
85.
85 from Taylor.
No, it's 100 million from me.
100 million.
I said 85.
You said 85. $150 million.
Wow.
Box office haul, domestic and international sales combined.
71 million.
300?
203.
Oh, that's good.
So I looked up, I'm kind of do this now. I have top 9 of the current as of yesterday box office like ranking. Obviously we know Super Mario Brothers is number 1.
I thought Guardians was.
Right now.
Oh, when it came out.
They haven't reported it.
No, like as of yesterday.
Oh, okay.
So 1.1 billion is Super Mario Brothers.
Crap, that blows my mind.
Ant-Man and the Wasp has 475 at number 2.
Because I heard that was bad.
3, John Wick 4 at 406.
That should be higher.
That's beautiful.
They're getting robbed.
I love to see it.
Oh, it is beautiful.
Yeah, we weren't able to talk about it because someone didn't see it.
I
Awesome.
have a lot to do for work sometimes. And the last thing I want to do is sit in a movie theater.
You literally work at movie theater.
But I'm only testing half the time. The last thing I want to do is go back and sit down where I work because then all I notice is the mistakes.
That's the fun part. All right, number 4 is Guardians of the Galaxy. Cole, you mentioned that, 365. Creed 3 is number 5. Dungeons and Dragons is number 6 at 202.
Okay.
Not bad.
Scream
6
is 168.
Wow, that made 170. Wow, I can't believe they're still going.
Shazam, Fury of the Gods,
Which
133.
bombed. Yep.
And then Pathan? Is that an Indian film? Pathan? Pathan?
No.
Pathan?
I don't know.
128 million.
Yeah,
number 9.
No clue what you're talking about there.
Pathaan. Sounds like one of those like.
Yeah, that might be one of those like it's like
Bollywood.
triple R maybe.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like some
I haven't
crazy
heard about
with
that.
tigers or something.
Man, triple
Who
R,
knows?
so crazy.
All right, I only have a couple.
Oscar winning.
I only have a couple more numbers, and then we can wrap spoiler-free review. Wizards of the Coast which owns Dungeons and Dragons,
Sure does.
made stat blocks for the main characters showing their abilities and attributes.
Oh, that's cute.
It's a
Had them
number.
out like playing cards like Pixar does.
The fourth Dungeons and Dragons film, and also a reboot. This is the fourth.
Say it's a reboot is absurd because it's like, what did
What do you reboot it?
The other ones actually have like a continuity?
No, it's
It's
I
a
disagree.
silly thing to say.
Yeah. There were several abilities that were used in previous versions of Dungeons and Dragons. The Tiefling. That was neither
The trifling?
The Trifling.
Trifling?
The Tiefling ring
The Tiefling?
was neither blue nor red. Draw. Sorry, I can't get through this, man. From 3.5 and earlier when they were flesh tones.
Oh, the 3.5 edition of Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I can't.
Is this a level of nerdery that you can't not mock?
You need somebody serious to read this.
I just don't know about it, but it makes me laugh. Okay, the druid wild shape into owlbear is possible in 3.5 with a feat or prestige class.
Oh,
The druid's ability to wild shape
this is
and attack in the same turn was also a feat in 3.5.
well. There you go.
And you know why that's in this category?
Because people were complaining about it.
No, it has numbers.
3.5 was a very popular edition of Dungeons and Dragons.
By the numbers. And the last but not least, the movie was filmed from April 12th, 2021 to August 19th, 2021. The release date was moved to November 2021
Bad idea.
to accommodate for Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1,
Which also.
and then later to May 2022, and then to March 2023 due to the COVID-19 pandemic. So it was ready.
And now we're going to get 2 Mission Impossibles in like 6 months.
No, I bet Part
wait.
2 will be in
Because
the
they just wait
following
forever.
year.
Like
They haven't even
John Wick
finished-
was done forever ago. Like
Yeah, but Dead Reckoning just barely wrapped.
But they spent a ton of money on both of them and need to make that back.
Oh, well, for sure.
no, they don't.
Their budget was $290 million.
Yeah.
It'll be fine.
Whoa. All right, anything... Okay, Taylor, you're the Sherpa.
Not really, but
Okay,
carry on.
Taylor, you're the one that knows slightly more than the rest
I
of us.
understand that
Yes.
you are not the...
Yes,
the-
okay. I will
the
agree to
all
that.
be-
I know-
End all be all to the Sherpas.
I know slightly more.
But you know more, which mine is 0.
Okay.
Cole's is probably 2%.
I'd say 2.5.
So, of the group of our
Yeah.
master, what is it
I'm-
called? Our clan.
Mom's Club.
Of
Our party?
of our little party, you know the most. So
okay.
tell us.
What?
I don't know. Tell us something about why you should watch this. I guess.
It's like Dungeons and Dragons. Like it's a tongue-in-cheek portrayal of Dungeons and Dragons without showing it's a game, but
Dramagons.
clearly having it be inspired by a game. It's like, in Battleship, that awful movie when they were using the
man.
pegs.
What a
That was bad, but that was a reference to it being a board game. And just imagine if that had been done better and you didn't hate the movie and it wasn't incomprehensible.
And Rihanna wasn't in it.
Do you feel like they didn't? Because you made a reference to the fact that they almost went to like a board game type reference, and then they didn't. Right? You're saying that. Do you think that's good or bad, or who cares?
I mean, no, I think they kept it at the right level.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah, I think that.
They didn't bring-
I will say that, like, from the trailers, I was expecting to hate this
Interesting.
because of the way that just the way it was portrayed in that is just
Like they were going to be breaking the fourth
is
wall all
way
the
too
time.
knowing. Yes, I would say like a lot of like Joss Whedon like style dialogue, which it's in there. It's not nearly as grating as like the trailer would have implied. I thought it would be. It's fine where it is. It's funny. It's well paced. It's like, well delivered, good timing. But yeah, like if this was like way too fourth wall, I would have been
Throwing up.
yeah, it would have been annoying. Like, and I feel like they really they walk that knife's edge.
Yeah, I think it's a good balance between like that opening scene was pretty cool of that guy getting put in prison, and then they juxtaposition that right to the humor. I thought it was great.
Yeah,
that was cool. It was your pick, Up in the Air, Cole. Why did you select this one?
It was one of the ones, I'm kind of the opposite of Taylor, where the trailer made it actually look pretty funny or made it seem like it was going to be enjoyable.
Way too much. It was way too much in the trailer.
Chris Pine's usually good whenever he's in.
That's true. I'll vouch for Chris Pine.
He's got that good charisma. He's that A-list celebrity that it's like Matt Damon, basically, that
Matt Damon
makes you get like...
I feel like he doesn't get like... He's not as like big of a star as he should be compared to the other Chris's.
Matt
just
Damon?
because Star
Chris
Trek
Pine.
Star Trek's kind of come and gone for the moment, and so he's kind of out of the way. He doesn't have any franchises going.
He is the best choice for Kirk. Mm-hmm. So great.
I'm happy with it. I'm glad it was worth the $20 purchase on Amazon to rent it.
I'm looking forward to what your review is going to be next week. At this point, there will be spoilers up ahead.
That's
so
right.
If you want to watch and then come back next week and join us for our breakdown of Dungeons and Dragons, the Battle of the Paladins. I am on the social
media.
media.
It's called. That's the sequel.
I am on the social medias. I dare you to message the great Popcorn Priest at Popcorn Priest. I love movies and would love it if you would share the love. Share this with the movie lover in your life. Another way to support the show is by throwing a few shekels at the priest by visiting patreon.com/Popcorn Priest and see what extra perks you can enjoy. Lastly, the easiest way to support the show and the most free is like and subscribe. And give us a 5-star review, easier than casting a hither-thither spell.
Yeah. Rolling a natural 20. Oh, wait, is this supposed to be hard or easy? Or?
It's supposed to be easy. You should go give us a review.
Easier. Yes.
Easier than that.
Yes.
As always, thanks for listening,
Rolling
and
a
thanks
die.
to my special guests.
IWD also can mean Iraq War Day. A unit of currency equal to the amount of money spent on one day of the war in Iraq, currently about $200 million.
Okay.
So an IWD refers to about $200 million blown.
Well, there you have it
There
from
we
our
go.
special guests.
There we go.
Sail Away Tribe and Up in the Air Cole. Oh, I didn't give you this. Here.
See, I thought Icewind was one word, so that's why the IWD was...
I didn't give you any applause. Thank you, gentlemen. Join us next week for part 2 of Honor Among Thieves. We'll see you then.